Are you ready to get the hydrofacial glow? Loved in 87 countries across the world. It's not a facial, it's a hydrofacial. Now available across the UK. Visit hydrofacial.co.uk to find your nearest location.
I'm going to drag up, I'm thinking a Southern Belle, and I've got the name for you. It's Dixie Normus. And I think there's going to be a real...
Oh my God, Richard.
Merry Christmas!
He's
and
back.
here is our special. He's our Christmas gift to everyone.
Yes.
Mwah.
I'm so excited.
Oh dear. I'm sure that people tuning in would prefer to have the cash equivalent. But since we do the love ladies.
No, there's not enough cash, dear. No.
Oh, bless you. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I'm the Wicked Queen. What do you expect?
I know. Low key, non fuss is always, Harriet. You've got to wear that the next time we go out for a refreshing beverage. That's great. Oh,
But I think Dee has surpassed herself.
Yes, even with my hat experience.
I know.
Yes, Poundland or Harrods, darling. I'm not sure which.
I know.
I think you know, Dee.
Obviously, for safety reasons, it worked now. Good morning, Britain. I'm back in my den, and because there's a limited crew on the floor, so to speak, to keep everyone safe on both sides of the camera, and they keep sending things. You know, you remember during the last lockdowns, ladies, they would keep sending props, and my heart goes every time the door goes, because I think, right, it's definitely going to be Amazon, and I haven't ordered anything, apart from a bit of Loctite, because we had issues with the plumbing, so to speak.
Oh,
Some super glue.
Too
much information, and I just know that this shed is going to be filled with microplastics or whatever. And I said, look, don't send any more that to me, because I don't want a Twitter storm or Richard Arnold slammed for putting tinsel up. So let's keep it as eco as possible. But they did knock up a little graphic for me. Look, a little
Have a look.
graphic.
Oh,
Oh, heaven.
So it's all just a little bit of history repeating, isn't it, really? I'm back in the shed, but I've missed the old girl. I have to say, I've missed you, old girls.
thank you, darling.
You don't start.
Oh, we've missed you, young man.
Yes, old man now. Don't start with the old girls. That's what my grandson said to me the other day. I said, I'm not feeling very well. He said, that's because you're old.
Oh.
Yeah, grandkids do say things like that.
Yeah, so that is no Christmas presents for him.
We've had the tree up since the 27th of November.
Yes.
I remember saying to the other half, I said, oh, it's such a shame. I know it's up early, but I always feel like we never really get to enjoy it because we were always out and about. And then we had to isolate for 10 days. So I just sat and looked at the tree, and actually it was quite glorious. You know, it was I feel sort of remarkably rested for this time of year, because at this point, girls, I am so dusty. But no, I actually feel quite refreshed. I mean, look, I'm wearing duck egg blue. In fact, I'm ready for Easter, quite frankly, because I've spent time at home.
Darling, what are you doing on Christmas Day? What are you doing on Christmas Day?
I am going to collect Mum and bring her over. It's just me, Mum, and the other half. Another pared down Christmas. I did buy a large turkey. I did that. You always do that thing, don't you? Where you go, do you know what? Let's just have a chicken this year. And I do host, even if I say so myself, legendary Sunday roasts here every weekend. So it feels a little bit like, well, is it just going to be another roast? And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to get a bird. Let's get the juices flowing, because there's something about the whole, palaver with it all, and the smells of Christmas. So, so yeah, I've got a bird for 6. So if you are home alone, girls, you're more than welcome to join me.
Oh, thank you.
My grandma used to like turkey, so we always used to have chicken. So I do like chicken, actually, on the odd occasion on this day. But we have a surprise for you, my darling Ricardo.
Hopeful.
No, with you girls, I'm always on a knife edge, because I never know what you're going to throw at me. So go on,
So
tell
we're
me.
not going to throw anything at you. All we're going to say is that we have another guest who I know you know very well too, the lovely Lesley Nicol, alias
Yes,
Mrs. Patmore, is coming into our nest to see you.
Oh, how wonderful! I love a bit of Lel. Love a bit of Lel.
yes.
The iPad has reached Downton Abbey. Hello.
Look at you. Where's your Christmas hat, Les?
Got a slightly compromised arm.
Oh, yes, you've got to tell us the story of your arm, Les.
There we are.
Oh, lovely.
Please don't flash your tinsel, darling. Not that kind of.
You look marvellous. Are you in panto this year, lady?
No, she just looks like that.
Every
He
day.
always looks like that.
I love
Yes,
it.
of course I am. I'm the wicked
Oh,
witch.
gee, that's marvellous. Oh, I wish I had something like that. That's marvellous.
Oh, Lesley, it's so lovely to see you. So I've heard very, very good things. Now, you'll remember that I was lucky enough to come down, Lesley, darling,
I remember we met in a field, darling. We
Yes,
did.
it was a fantastic shoot. The whole cast was there, sort of at Downton Abbey for the film a few years ago, and of course it ended up being such a massive blockbuster. And I feel really privileged, Lesley, because I was on set the very first day of the series, chatting to Michelle Dockery and Dan Stevens, and I feel like I've been a little bit. He's been part of that journey for the Downton cast. And I gather, because I've had friends, well, you know them as well, colleagues who've been lucky enough to see the new film, and apparently it is researched incredibly. Like, people who've had a sneak peek of it have said it's phenomenal. And I know we've got to wait for the spring for it, but it cannot come soon enough.
Yeah, well, you know,
Yeah.
they do those, those, I don't know what you call them. You'll know what you call. Yes, that's it. they go, they test it out in front of an audience. So they did it in LA, and it was something like 93%, and the first one was like 91, and the same was here. So you can't, that's the only indication at this point, apart from any mates who've seen it, that maybe it'll be something that'll make people happy. Yeah.
Oh, I watch it, and it's a one. I always start rewatching Downton Abbey around September time. So I always start watching it and then finish with the film just about Christmas. And what I loved it about every new series of Downton Abbey is there would always be a new gadget, you know, the telephone, the hairdryer, or the toaster would arrive below stairs. And I used to love that moment in this series, because it was like, yes, viewers, we've moved on a couple of years. No one's aged, but we've moved on a bit.
Do you know what? That's my sister-in-law saying hello. I've declined her.
This is a whole comedy sketch you couldn't imagine.
He might be back in a second. That's all I'm saying.
I'll tell you about Lesley. When Lesley was in the States, and we used to FaceTime each other. I used to see her chin. I used to see her left ear. I used to see her feet, but never her face.
Okay, hey, where are you? Move your head. I'm moving my head.
I know, the other day I spoke to somebody, Lesley, who'd actually had their ear to the phone, forgetting it was actually fidget. So, oh yeah, and it was a guy with a very big ear. All you could see was the inside of his ear, and I didn't like to say, you know.
No. I know.
Hysterical. That is hysterical.
Those of us of a certain
You are the
age-
worst, Lesley.
I am actually, yeah.
Whenever I'm abroad, or lucky enough to go abroad, I always obviously FaceTime Mum through my other half's phone, because Mum's not remotely digital. She's not a silver surfer at all. And I always do a screen grab of what she looks like when she's making the... and she can't quite believe that I'm in there, you know? The miracle of modern technology. God bless her.
Les, tell us what's happened to your arm.
Well, yes. I was walking, me and my dogs were walking along the road after dark. It was 6 o'clock, 3 weeks ago. And I was literally just crossing a road, and I looked to my right, and there was a road coming up to this road, and I saw a well-known delivery van come steaming along. And I thought, oh, never mind, it's okay. He'll see me, he'll stop before he turns left or right. But he didn't.
No.
And then the next thing you know, this thing is kind of like in my face, and it was scary. So I only had one option, which was I threw myself and pulled them with me to the right and threw myself onto the road to get away from him. And I landed on my elbow, and it was very painful. And then, but you know what we're like, we're going to go, he said, you know, arnica, lots of arnica. So I did that. And a paramedic friend said, don't go to A&E because they're so overwhelmed. You'll be there for days, and it won't be high priority. Even if it's broken, it won't be. anyway, I waited a week, and then eventually I was persuaded to go and see a doctor. And I said, because I'm about to do a job, and I said, I need to go into rehearsal on the 4th of January. So will you please just tell me it's a bruise? And he said, well, let's x-ray it. So he x-rayed it. He came back and he went, you're having an emergency operation tomorrow because you've fractured it in 3 places.
Oh,
The van stopped, darling. Did the van
He did. He was absolutely mortified. He asked to drive me home.
oh.
No, you're all right.
Yes, so please.
I'll crawl. It's better that way.
Yeah, I just watch you driving. It's not happening.
Really.
Yeah.
He was but my message to us all is, can you believe this? That was my friend Richard Dempsey calling me now.
Name
Why
drop.
are they all doing it now? Anyway, my message to you all is, they're all under such pressure, aren't they? Delivering like maniacs. And that's one beast of a van that can hit you. So be careful, because you never think that's going to happen.
You're so lucky it wasn't worse, darling. Seriously.
I know. I know that completely. Yeah, it was seconds away from going. Yeah.
Don't.
So
yes. God. How long have you got to wear?
Well, I have to be in this till the 5th of January.
Right.
And then I said to him, once I get this off, he said, such a doctory thing, I love this. We're looking for eventful healing.
What does that mean?
I said, no, sorry. No, I've got that wrong. Uneventful healing.
Oh, okay.
And I said, and have we got uneventful healing? And he said, yes. In other words, it's healing. Why don't they just say that? Anyway, yes, I think another week with this, or 10 days of this, and then I have to start moving it around. But
yeah.
So can you go to the States then, Les?
Well, that's the plan. Yes, I rehearse on the 4th of January till the 14th, and I'm due to fly to Pittsburgh on the 16th, and we open the end of that week for 3 weeks.
Wow.
So your one-woman show, tell us all about it.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's called How the Hell Did I Get Here? And I think we can all relate to that. And actually, that is the point of it. That is completely the point of it. We've had little tryouts of it. And generally, what it does is it makes you have a little think about where you've been along the way. Because actually, we are really all the same. We're same road, different bumps, isn't it, really? But the best bit about it is this came about in America. When I lived in America, I was there for 6 years, and I got to know this guy called Mark Muller, and he's a brilliant songwriter. I mean, he has a wall full of discs. He's got a huge career in pop, and he's around our age. And I think he was a bit like over it, really. He'd done everything, he'd achieved it all, and everything was a bit like his light had gone out. And then one day I said to him, I didn't even know he was a songwriter. I knew he had a piano in his house, and I knew we'd sung around it, but I'd never bothered to ask him, which is insane. I thought he might be an MD or something, but anyway, turns out he's a songwriter. So I said, I'd love to do something, but not cabaret, because there are people like Bernadette Peters who will do it much, much better than me. I want to do something I can do. Anyway, cut a long story short, he got kind of intrigued. And so we spent many, many, many hours together just conjuring this thing up. And as I was telling him stories, he would go, well, that's a song. And then he'd go and write it. And then often the next day he'd come back. And I'm telling you, he's written me 10 songs. And I'm not kidding you, they are absolutely brilliant. They really are. I'm not kidding. They are fantastic. And one of them, I'll give you a little spoiler, should I?
Yes.
Well, I'll give you an example. He'll kill me for doing this. He doesn't like me talking about it till we get it. But there was one day when I said to him, you'll understand this, ladies. I said, trouble is when you've been around in this business for a bit, there's always somebody ahead of you who nicks your parts. And he said, oh, who's that? Who's yours then? And I said, well, anyway, I told him. Next day, he comes back with a song called That Damn Julie Walters is Stealing All My Parts. If we're at the same audition, it's over before it starts. There you go. That's an example. And he did that overnight.
When are you bringing it here, darling?
Well, I don't know. The point of this is we're doing it in quiet little Pittsburgh and see how we go there. Then I come back for 2 weeks. Then we've got a booking in Chicago. So we do it for 3 weeks there. Then it's likely to go to New York for 5 weeks, a bit later.
Wow.
And we'll just have to see, you know, if it's going well, then yes, we'd love to come here. Of course we would. Yeah.
You've got to see it. We have to.
Well, you certainly would relate to it. I'll tell you that much. Yes.
Yeah, we all would, I think.
You would. And actually, what is nice is you don't have to be in our business to relate to it, because I cover a lot of things that people that are general. I mean, love disasters, you know, love life disasters. We've all had them. And yeah, lots of things that are nothing to do with what we do for a living, just about being alive, really.
Yeah.
So watch this space, guys. It's not been.
Cannot wait.
We've got a lovely director here doing it, Luke. So we'll see. Yeah.
Well, we've just been talking about what Richard's doing for Christmas, darling, and all of us.
What is that?
What are you doing, darling, for Christmas Day?
Tomorrow. Well, very quietly. Not very much, actually. Well, you see, not a lot of options.
But you don't cook anyway, Les. Don't start.
Oh,
You've got to tell our viewers.
No, you forget. I went a bit vegan, and I went to vegan cooking classes. I did.
Did you?
I did. Yes, I did.
There you go.
And you know why? Because the lovely husband that you found for me used to be the cook. And as soon as I went, I'm not eating meat anymore, I was scuppered, because he does. So I had to learn, otherwise I'd have gone very hungry.
Are you doing an up roast, dear? Are you doing an up roast?
That sort of thing, yes. Something along those lines. Yes.
Just
Sounds good to
in
me.
a bowl and then
Yes.
That's
Yes.
that one. Yeah. Okay.
We're all going to Richard's, I think, aren't we, Richard?
Oh,
Yeah, well,
Richard.
Yes, we've been invited, darling.
I've
We have
ordered
been
another
invited.
I've ordered another large bird purely for the applause, and I'll probably get a slow clap from the other half and a polite ripple from Mother, but that'll be nothing to do with her hands. So we'll wait and see.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, low key on fuss, but nevertheless festive, and you know.
And are you cooking?
I always cook, and I also, even when we have bigger Christmases, I always cook, because I feel like if I'm in the kitchen, it's solace, you know, so I can have 2 or 3 hours in the kitchen just pottering around, watching
With some wine, Richard.
I was going to say, will you be quietly having a sherry at the same time?
I will be quietly having, I will pop a cork probably around 11 o'clock.
Oh,
Darling, is it IV? I think, isn't it straight into the veins?
Not the ivy. You meant the ivy, we're not off to the ivy. Yes,
No,
so
No, dear.
intravenously, but responsibly.
IV.
Yes.
Lovely.
you can't mess up everybody's dinner, can you? That would be tragic.
No, because I did have 1 year actually where, and I could see even my dad, who, and you can imagine, God bless him, the wartime generation, they put salt on everything before they actually eat it. And I did over salt spuds, and I'm known for spuds, so I was absolutely heartbroken. But yeah, we're braced for it. And I do love it. I love the ceremony of it. But I'm really honest, I actually prefer this very day in history, Christmas Eve. Because I love the magic of that, and I love just pottering down to the local or having a little mulled wine sat on a curb somewhere, depending whether or not the establishments are open.
Standard.
I love all of that.
Yeah.
What,
I
something
took the
like that,
kids-
you mean?
I took the kids to see the Windsor illuminations, which were just fantastic at Windsor Park. Just incredible, really, really beautiful. And that would be a great place to go between Christmas and New Year if you can get in there. It's just so lovely.
What
And
are you
what
doing
is
on
it?
Christmas Day, Dee and Debbie?
Well, I'm going to be with my grandchildren, and I'll pop round to Richard's, of course, but in between. But yes, I've got 3 grandchildren, twin boys of 5 and a granddaughter of 10. So, you know, it's really about the kids this year, because they're so excited, and Father Christmas is coming and all the rest of it. So it's going to be absolutely brilliant. My daughter's cooking, thank goodness.
I never cook, of course. No, I never cook. Actually, I have cooked for Lesley before.
You totally have, and I'll never forget it. Did it involve a packet of rice?
That was it, just the rice.
She once, actually, sorry to tell you something, she once nearly killed me as well. She tried, I was so drunk. It's a long story, but she decided that she didn't want me to die in the middle of the night. So she tried to pour water down my throat.
Hydration.
Yeah, hydration. And I was like, it was like being waterboarded. I went, she was going, you've got to drink.
Well, you were legless, absolutely legless.
No change there. Debbie, what are you doing on Christmas Day?
I'm just with Kira and the boys and Tally and everybody, just with the family. Always the same every year. Very lucky just to have my guys there. So it's just lovely. And
So
next
all
year,
your doggies with you.
possibly for a bit of the day, because Kira's got 2 and I've got 3 and Talia's got 1. So there's thousands of dogs.
So many.
Yeah.
I think I'm just, because I'm doing 2 shows Christmas Eve and 2 shows Boxing Day, seeing my dad, who's 95 in the morning, and then he goes to my sister for lunch. He's coming to me for breakfast. So I'm just going to have lunch out because I can't.
Where are you performing, lady?
Darling, I'm in Woking.
In where?
Woking, dear.
Woking, very good.
Yeah.
Are you being evil?
Yes.
No more than usual, darling.
Nap off, please.
You see, Harriet and I have performed together, haven't we, Harriet?
We have. Only about 33 years ago, but you know.
Yeah. It wasn't a massive hit, was it? But I'm firmly of the belief that if you haven't had a couple of plonkers in your time, you're not the real deal. Do you know what I mean?
We were hysterical because it was literally, it was horrific, and we had to do an encore at the end, and it was set on a boat. So the whole of the audience in the first 3 rows, it was on the deck of a boat that was on the stage, literally had to have neck braces by the time they left because all the seats bent backwards. And I remember we looked out because we were forced to do an encore, and literally we were at circle level and people were like this. We started the encore. It was hysterical. It
was called Woman Overboard.
Oh yeah. And it was something like Wash Out was the title. The reviews were.
I'm feeling slightly left out in the cold here because I've never really had the opportunity to tread the boards apart from, glancing blows in Mamma Mia and all that sort of business, cheeky little cameos and so not appearing in Camelot and all that sort of business. But I'm determined this year that I'm going to take my one-man drag show on the road, and I'll get some tips from you girls. So I'm going to drag up, I'm thinking a Southern Belle, and I've got the name for you. It's Dixie Enormous. And I think there's going to be a real that.
Oh my God, Richard.
Merry Christmas. And I'll bring the enormous.
You need to know.
Everybody, we wish you a Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you for joining our Christmas party with Lesley and Dickie. Thank you guys for joining us. We've got some more Christmas messages, and we will see you on January the 11th because we've got a couple of weeks to get ourselves together.
Use Dixie's full name, which is Dixie Enormous. Is that correct, darling?
Dixie Enormous.
Not just
Dixie.
I can't wait to see this, Richard.
I think we can, Dee.
Thank you for that. Oh, the spirit of goodwill is alive and well this season.
Thank you, Lesley.
Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless you. Stay safe.
God bless. Love you.
Hello, all my darling Wonderbirds. It's Lavoie, aka Fairy Godmother, this Christmas, wishing you all a fabulous Merry Christmas in the nest. See you soon.
Happy Christmas to the 4 wonders of the world. I hope you have an amazing, amazing Christmas. Stuff that turkey, or stuff that vegan Wellington, or stuff anything you fancy, really. But I just hope you have a fantastic time, and I can't wait to see you in the new year. Okay, all my love. Take care.
Happy Christmas, Wonderbirds. Fly.